why I met Ethan. And should I?
Me?
Sorry, I don't know who you are.
Oh dang, that's so cool.
Mom's immediate reaction was, wouldn't the chemicals affect like something in you? And you can't.
That would have been crazy.
Oh, I would love to go back to my school. And
Yeah, actually, you do that. Come on.
I
You
should.
could.
I totally
if only
should.
you knew any teachers in Kampar.
I don't
Both of her parents are teachers, by the way.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cut the Stem. And today's episode is brought to you by Space Quest. And here's a quick video from our sponsor. Welcome to Space Quest, where we inspire young minds through STEM. At Space Quest, we believe in the power of STEM to spark curiosity, ignite creativity, and open up a world of possibilities for students. Through hands-on immersive learning in space science, robotics, and cybersecurity, we aim to show young minds just how exciting STEM actually can be. From designing experiments that could be sent to the International Space Station, to tackling real-world challenges, we create opportunities for students to think independently, dream big, and bring their ideas to life. Our programs come in all shapes and sizes: camps, day workshops, CCAs, and more. And we're always looking to partner with schools and corporates who are as passionate as we are about empowering the next generation. Every great journey begins with a single step. Let's take it together. For more information, visit us at spacequest.asia to learn more. Now, back to the podcast. So today we have
Ethan. Again, hello.
Zoe again, and we have a very special guest as well. It's Abi.
Who are you, Abi?
Hello.
So hi Abi. So could you introduce a bit of your background?
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Abi. My background, I did an undergraduate in chemical and materials engineering in University of Auckland, New Zealand. That's why I met Ethan. And should I?
Me?
Sorry, I don't know who you are.
This is my wife, by the way. Hello.
Yeah, hello. And I was sponsored by this energy company in Malaysia to go there and study. And since I was sponsored, I've been back now. And I started working with them in corporate sustainability. It's been 2.5 years since I started working here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, could you tell us a fun fact about yourself?
Fun fact. Maybe I could move my ears. Like,
Oh, really? That's so cool.
yeah, I can.
Yeah, great thing for an audio podcast.
Oh, is it? You guys can react to it. Okay, let me try.
Oh, dang, that's so cool.
That's kind of creepy. I haven't seen that before.
You've definitely seen it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I
Okay.
love that.
Thank you. It's my hidden talent.
Wow.
Dang.
That's your peak.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into in today's podcast topic. So today we're going to talk about gender gaps in STEM fields in Malaysia. So we just want to ask you about like your personal journey, because we've done quite a bit of research and we've figured out that a small percentage of women in STEM education have only pursued careers. So like, what inspired you to pursue this career?
I think in high school I went into science stream, and that's when like I was exposed to a lot of like STEM subjects. I think I figured I was passionate about things I was good at, but that's not necessarily true now looking back at it. But I was really good at like physics, chemistry, and maths, and I just knew that was the path I should take. And I think I was also very certain that I wanted to secure a scholarship. Study locally or overseas didn't matter, but I just wanted to secure a scholarship, and most of them revolved around STEM.
Right.
Yeah. So that kind of like showed me like, okay, that's one of the things I could do. Like you couldn't be I don't know, journalist, and like I was actually into journalism at some point, but there weren't many scholarships for that.
Right.
Yeah, but STEM was very direct, and engineering especially. And yeah, that's how I ended up getting that scholarship and pursuing Korean STEM.
Wow, that's great.
You say like that you liked it because you were passionate about it. Wait, no. Sorry, you were passionate about it because you were good at it. But then you kind of hesitated there. You weren't too sure about that comment. What exactly does that mean?
I think, I mean, in Malaysia, right, you have either science stream or art stream. And there's also, I don't know why they do this, when you're good in PMR. Was that what it's called? After UPSR, between UPSR and SPM.
PT3, is it?
Okay, it's called PT3 now, but when I did it, I'm pretty sure it was called PMR.
Okay.
Yeah, so when the top tier students naturally go to science stream. And then those who did not perform as well, they would go to art stream. So science was just regarded as like this amazing thing to pursue. So when when you especially do well at those particular subjects like chemistry, physics, you're like, whoa, I'm the best of the best. Like this is the pathway I should take. It's not necessarily like what I'm passionate about. So yeah, that's what I meant. Did you not know this about like science stream and art stream?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard this at all, no.
What about you?
Yeah, it's normally like that.
Yeah.
That's how like it is. Like people would think that if you're in science stream, you're a lot smarter than the people in art stream.
I'm not sure if gender gets affected in all of this scene. Like, I don't know if girls are naturally smarter than boys, and but your statistics show otherwise, right? It's boys who naturally get into science stream more than girls. Is that what you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
more like
currently.
career-wise maybe.
Yes.
So talking about cultural influences, there are a lot of traditional beliefs that women should prioritize family and caregiving roles. So how do societal perceptions of women in STEM affect their participation and retention?
It does. But I think you get to control how much you let it affect you.
Right.
I do have a very traditional parents, and when I remember telling them I was gonna apply for chemical engineering,
Right.
and I got into chemical and materials engineering. So when I told them chemical engineering, they were like really scared. And my mom's immediate reaction was, "Wouldn't the chemicals affect like something in you? And you what if you can't bear a baby in the future?"
Oh,
so
what?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Ethan, you should not be surprised.
It's often such a double-edged sword where it's like, oh, we really want you to do well in your career.
Yeah.
But like, as soon as you get your career going, like as soon as you're old enough to start doing that, you need to find a man and have a kid.
Yeah.
And then stop your
my
career.
God.
Yeah.
It's such a double-edged sword.
True. But again, chemical engineering doesn't necessarily, you have to be dealing with chemicals, but in their head they was like, yep, it's 12 chemicals.
Nor are those chemicals always going to be dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my mom was very worried, but then again, a guy who was senior, like a year ahead of me, he had secured the same scholarship, same chemical engineering wiki. Yeah. So so he was like my role model at that time. My parents were like, okay, if he could do it, I guess that's fine. You can do it too. So that was my first, gender stereotype thingy that happened in my family. And then, but then when I went to New Zealand, I think New Zealand, it's a different landscape. It was more chill, but there was always a group of people who would support women. I think it was very encouraged. I was in this club called Women in Engineering, and I was very active while I was there. I was there in the club for about 3 years, and I think chemical and materials engineering, we had more women than the rest, but engineering, like software, mechatronics, mechanical, I think those did not necessarily have enough women participation. I think it's just because how they are viewed. I think they are more for strong people. I don't know. I don't know what's people take on it.
I think more maybe nerdy stuff, you could look at it like that. I would say there's a bit of a discrepancy.
More hands-on, more like electrical.
Okay.
When it involves workshops and stuff. I think that's where
Yeah.
you can,
I think I will say something as well, is that Auckland University, the one that you went to, has a better discrepancy with men and women.
Yeah.
But like a lot of my friends went to a different university, Canterbury, and it's like 99% men.
Oh.
Yeah.
Auckland, it's better, but
Right.
in Christchurch, it was way worse.
Yeah, it was very good, but like good representation. So I don't think I experienced any, gender.
I think it's not overt, right? Like no one's going around, your professors aren't being like, you're going to be a worse engineer or you're not going to be an engineer at all, and like this guy is. I think it's more of like societal sort of like from when you're younger, just small things that like little by little add up, and then will be enough to tip the edge on someone who's deciding, do I go into STEM or do I go into an arts?
But I remember having this conversation with one of my lecturers. It was my last year of uni, and I went and told them, hey, I'm going to go back to Malaysia, and this is the company I'm going to work for. And they were like, oh, you're a woman. It's going to be harder for you there. And I was like, I'm not going to name drop the company. But, and that was a bit scary. And this came from a very old white man. And he's worked with the company before. So he was like, you better be careful going back. And that was a bit scary, but I didn't let it affect me. And I can tell you now, I'm working for them. There's no such thing. I'm fine. And I think also because my work is now towards more corporate side of things. I'm not out there at the plant and doing more engineering stuff hands-on. My friends who do work there, I've heard like few things like, there's not many women there. They don't get as much support. So maybe I'm just lucky now.
Okay, so how were your family and friends? Were they one of the barriers, or were they like a support system that helped you through like your STEM career and like education?
Family, I think I gave you an example just now. But they've never stopped me from doing things.
Oh, that's great.
Even they had doubts, I'd always like reassure them like it's fine, I'm gonna be okay. They'd let me do whatever I want. And coming back, I really wanted to be an engineer in a plant, and I was rejecting some of the corporate offers that were coming my way, and my parents were like, just take it. I think their mindset is like, you should rather have a job than not have one. So don't be selective. I think you get that a lot. I don't know if it's men or women gets. I think here in Malaysia, employability is a thing, right? So the sooner you get a job, the better it is. So it doesn't matter. But I was rejecting a few at first, but my parents were not super happy about that. But finally I got one, and they're okay with it. Friends, I think in STEM especially, I've never been alone. I've always had friends with me who liked to do things I like. Not in my high school though. That's interesting. I didn't have many girls with me who wanted to become engineering. I think this has to do with the fact that I went schooling in Kampar. It's a very small town in Perak, and not many people. We were not exposed to engineering a lot. It was very science and like just education driven. They don't talk about what can you do with it afterwards. The education wasn't very forward looking. So none of us really discussed about careers, and engineering was not one of the things like we talked about. Most of my friends had no idea what to do, and some of them didn't really want see themselves in STEM career. But because I was very particular, I wanted to secure a scholarship. So I hung out with those circle of friends, and they happened to be boys, and they were applying for engineering. But that didn't stop me. I was like, surely I could do it. And then when I went through the application process, from my school, I think I was the only one. But I was the only one. And then I go there's so many girls there applying for this. Then you get selected, you get to go to college with them. We had to do a pre-university before we were sent to New Zealand. So I had a bunch of girls who we all did STEM, and we're all engineers. Some of them are like actual engineers now.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm a fake engineer in an office. Friends were like really supportive. And that club that I talked to you about, Women in Engineering, this was a very fun club. And I made so many friends there because I was there. as an international student, it's very hard to make friends. I think that club really helped me like make a lot of friends as well. Yeah.
That's great. So do you think that the lack of role models of women in STEM is a problem? Like, do you think if we had more of them, that women would be more encouraged to go into a field of STEM?
Just relating back to my story, I think people my age nowadays, I think we're not these things don't stop us anymore. If we want to do it, we'll go and do it. I think convincing our family and friends around us could be a bit harder. So going back in time, if my parents had seen that, or more girls, more of my cousins were actually doing STEM, they would not have been super hesitant, because they could only see, they didn't know many engineers in that small village. I don't think there were any job prospects for engineers there. None of my family members that did an engineering, if they did, they were all men. So I think if we have more of them now, that would really help the older generation to understand that this is a norm. It's okay for girls to pick up STEM.
It's like a progressive climb. Like things get better a lot quicker. Like once you have just a few role models, a few support systems, everything just, I think, sort of starts to get easier.
Yes.
Can you imagine how it would have been if you didn't have that women in engineering group in Auckland? Like, that would have made it even harder.
Yeah. I think it's so important to put people together in clubs like that. It does help you, like, to share stories and to see how other women are progressing in their own career. I still keep in touch with them. I see their LinkedIn posts and like the way they advance their careers. It's very inspiring. Yeah.
And so even if you are still in the minority, having at least a group of minority can like be so helpful versus like nothing, like, while there is still definitely a problem, having support for the people that can squeeze through can make such a difference.
Yeah.
As you say.
So talking about all these like issues between like culture and stereotypes, how can collaboration between the government or like the education system or like private sectors be shifted to encourage girls to pursue more STEM education and careers?
I think going back to what I said, I think we need to start talking about careers a lot more during high school. It's very educational, like it should be more forward looking, and people should start talking about what they want to do in their, like, towards the SPM, know, and not just aim for good grades and then what, right? We should start talking about that a lot more. And what could government do? Have those clubs that I had in uni, like in school. I wish they had one in school.
Right.
I was doing drama. I was in English drama club. Well, that helped. That helped in lots of ways. But if they had a women in STEM club, maybe other schools do, but not mine. I think not the SMKs and the government schools and like not KL, I guess, areas. We don't have a lot of STEM clubs. It's not a thing. So maybe we should have those more, and find those like group of girls together, and then so they can support each other, and then you identify teachers who are also willing to like help them, and and also maybe buddy system. Maybe when I was in school, I wish I had a university, a student, or even a university student. Oh, I was actually paired with a graduate when I was in university.
Oh,
I don't know if that if they could do that here, that would be great. That was in New Zealand. So because you join this club, Women in Engineering, you get paired with an a student that's like just starting their career. So they'll be in their first or second year of working. So they're going through a graduate program, right? So they will help us to get into a graduate program.
Wow.
Yeah, they would share their industry experience, like how should you be prepared for interviews? What can you expect in real life working? Yeah, so I think that those kind of things, finding that support system.
Right.
Yeah. So I think if we have that, girls can't initiate themselves, and I mean they could, but if the system's already there, that would really help them find the support system.
And then even if you had those people come to schools,
Yeah.
Like imagine if you had someone who's like just starting their career,
Oh,
some woman
true.
come into your school in Kampa.
Yeah.
Like that would have been crazy.
Oh, I would love to go back to my school. and,
Yeah,
like,
actually you do that. Come on.
I
You
should.
could.
I totally
if only
should.
you knew any teachers in Kampa.
I don't
Both of her parents are teachers, by the way.
Yeah, they're primary. I know. I could talk to my parents, I guess. Yeah, they're teachers. Yeah, I should. That's a thought there. Yeah.
We just had an amazing idea form on the podcast live.
I should. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm.
Thanks, Ethan.
But it could be supported by government to make it like
Yeah.
happen, not just one-offs when people think about it on a
Right.
podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So like there are programs, right, in Malaysia to, help push STEM careers, like the knowledge of it at least, right?
Yes, knowledge of it, yes. But I think what kind of career opportunities it can open, like I think that's not being talked about in school well. Because teachers
Right.
themselves are not particularly sure about these things because they've been teachers their whole lives, right? I think the gap between school and, career, that's not talked enough in school. Like I studied, again, when I did chemistry and physics well in school, my teachers used to say, you could do chemical engineering. That's not necessarily true. Engineering is a lot more than just being good at chemistry and
Right.
physics. Yeah. So those kind of things.
So, for the viewers who are the younger generation, is there any advice you would love to give them? I mean, they could potentially go into STEM careers, so what do you have to say to them?
I think STEM is very broad. It's not as one-dimensional as many think it is.
Right.
Like, it can appear to be scary, like, oh, science, technology, woo. But I think it doesn't necessarily have to be that.
Right.
Like, I still would identify myself as a woman in STEM. I'm not in a plant. It doesn't necessarily have to look like you have to sacrifice your family, go to plant, work 12-hour shift, you come back. That's STEM. No, I don't think so. I disagree. I'm in office comfortably working 8 hours a day, sometimes more. But I can come home and do other things. Like it can be like I'm in a corporate. I work for corporate sustainability. An example would be we look at emissions and we look at technologies to detect emissions and so that we can accurately measure them because you can't manage what you can't measure. So we're trying to measure emissions really, really accurately so you can identify where they're coming from. So that's technology for you right there. And you have to measure the emissions so that you understand them accurately. So there's a lot of maths behind it, a lot of fluid dynamics to actually like compute them and get the correct emissions. And then how do you abate emissions? There's a lot of systems thinking behind it. What kind of solutions do you propose to cut emissions down? So there's a lot of STEM right there. So it's not very straightforward. You don't have to be wearing a lab coat and be in a lab or wearing a PPE and be in a plant.
There's so much out there.
Yes, for sure. It's a lot of things out there. So don't restrict yourself thinking, oh, STEM is hard. It's for men. You have to sacrifice family. No, you can have so much fun and do STEM.
I think to give a more like general piece of advice as well is that it's so much easier to score when you have a goal. Like can you imagine being on a football field, a soccer field, whatever, and there's no goal.
Right.
There's no drive to run to run in any one direction. And so think what sort of thing could I really like to do? Put something up in the sky. There's the classic saying of aim for the moon. If you miss, shoot. If you miss, you'll land among the stars. Put something out there. Really think about it. Think about what could it be to be someone in tech? Oh, like man, this really smart person who knows how to measure emissions really well, or something like man, that could be really cool. And then by being able to think about that and think about how amazing you could be, it makes your path clearer and it will make the path easier, and it'll also make you go further on your path as well. That's more of like a general piece of advice for everyone, but
and also to add on to that, I think for young girls, specifically in high school, still trying to figure a career out, talk to people. I think don't limit yourself with the people in your school. I think LinkedIn is such a great place to like just reach out to people, and like you just search up some keywords like sustainability. It's still people who work in there, or like if you want a particular sector, you can filter it to sector and then find them. Just reach out to them. Let's hang out for coffee, talk to people. I think that's what I really liked people doing that in New Zealand a lot, not in Malaysia. I think here we hesitate to grow our network. It's not, doesn't come naturally. I think there are people, just hit each other up and like, hello, let's go for coffee, let's go for lunch, and then talk about things. I think we should do that a lot more. So yeah, get connected.
I love that. Well, there we have it, guys. Thank you so much, Abi, for coming onto this podcast to share about your experience. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, that's it for today's podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.